Welcome to the virtual lunch. Today is Wednesday, August 31st, and this is virtual lunch number 630. Our guest today is Michelle Friends, the executive director at Fairfield & Woods in Denver, and this is part of our series on igniting innovation with SurePoint Technologies.
I run the marketing team at SurePoint and just love being part of the virtual lunch community and learning from our guests.
Hi, I'm Annie. I am the content marketing manager with SurePoint. I work with Lydia, Ed, and Sarah. And Michelle, it's nice to have you.
I'm Sarah Coffey. I am also a content marketing manager at SurePoint, where I work with Lydia and Annie and Ed. But before that, I was a law firm marketer for about 12 years. So I'm really excited to hear about your transition from marketing director to executive director.
I started at Fairfield & Woods about 11 years ago as a marketing manager. That was my first law firm job. I came over from the world of chambers of commerce and economic development. So I had a good sense of law firms and worked with them in a kind of a membership capacity, but came over as the marketing manager and slowly got promoted to marketing director. And about 5-6 years ago, I decided to get my master's of legal administration, and I completed that at the end of 2019 and got the bump to executive director. There was a lot of change within the firm that kind of made me one of the senior people on the admin team. And, the door opened after a lot of patience of seeing another director come in, also being interim for a while, and slowly moved over to the role. And a lot of that was just due to the relationships that I had made in the firm. I run the firm with a marketing mindset still. I really work on a team environment that didn't exist for the admin team prior. When I was a marketing director, we never had a staff meeting with the admin team. We have them weekly. We hear what IT is doing, what finance is doing, what marketing is doing, and everybody's tied together in that. I think having been in that role and not feeling like I knew what my peers in the firm did is what drives me to create more of a team environment and get my team to collaborate a lot more. But yeah, I think the sense of just knowing clients, knowing all of our memberships, where the money goes for marketing, understanding some of the marketing technology that we had, all of those things, maybe not all, but a lot of executive directors I meet, that's an area that they tend to be weak in. A lot of executive directors come up the ranks of HR and finance. And since I really believe that marketing touches everybody, I'm kind of lucky that I came up through those ranks, particularly in IT and HR. Those were areas that I had a lot to learn. And I will tell you, the big things I did out the gate was I outsourced our IT department. And I do chalk that up to taking that technology class in my master's I had a better sense of what the IT guys were talking about. And it wasn't really living up to the standard that I thought our firm needed at that time. And decided, okay, I'm going to rebuild the whole IT department. And that was my first act as executive director. But really that knowledge in that degree program was super helpful for me. I spend a lot of time reaching out to people, making sure that they have what they need to do their jobs. Little things like I have every single staff member's work anniversary on my calendar. I do my best to acknowledge them. Just being someone that's approachable to them, understands them, make sure that they're being successful in their job. Hands down, the biggest surprise is to simply see how successful the staff team can be remote. As long as you're responsive and you're getting your job done, you can have the luxury to work at home. And one of the biggest things that I push in our firm is that you still have to show up for the fun stuff. We hold numerous meetings throughout, whether it's staff meetings or leadership team meetings or practice group meetings, and people have to show up for those team meetings. We really try to create an environment that people can do and build the practice that they want to have and that they enjoy having. I don't like to see people burnt out. That's been very successful. I have a very strong retention rate with our associate group. We also do an associate retreat, so they get some training. It's like personality training and understanding how to communicate with people. This year, they're doing some more leadership and executive presence training. And I'm pretty good about checking in with our associate team regularly as well. I make sure that they know that my door is open and that I want to see them be successful. We have a lot of hybrids, so they are half paralegal, half legal assistant, which is actually quite helpful for the bottom line because they're all billing in some way, shape, or form. I have a legal assistant that's moved to a hybrid role over the past year, and just the drive and excitement I see out of her is just something that's very rewarding for me. We do spend a lot of time having our younger associates trained by paralegals. Again, I mentioned I have some very tenured paralegals. So it's very clear when when a new associate walks in that paralegal is going to know a lot more. So I do spend time with the paralegals about helping to train younger associates on process and how are things work at the firm. And I do allow them to enter that time in so that we can track it and they get credit for it as well. COVID helped that tremendously. There was a core group of staff that had to keep the day-to-day operations going and continue going into the office. Simply the guy that goes and gets the mail. Well, we needed the mail because we needed the check. That one person, while that job doesn't seem important, during that time was highly important. Everybody's here for a reason. We wouldn't hire them if we didn't need them. So that's a massive silver lining to me in firms that aren't seeing that are probably the firms that are seeing a lot of those resignations, of those firms that are not helping build a hybrid environment or those pathways for people. I think those are the ones that people are running away from. I think the biggest thing about maintaining the culture or shifting it is allowing everybody to have that voice. So I set every group down. I kind of went through from legal assistants, admin team, paralegals, associates, junior directors. And one of the main questions I asked them is, if a recruiter called you today, what is the one thing they could tell you that would make you want to leave our firm? And I got a lot of, as long as you don't make me come back every single day, I can have flexibility. I have some people that really want to be there. And I think that opening those doors, that's something that didn't exist before, those conversations. Creating more opportunities for people to build is great for the firm, but also kind of gives them that pathway to growing their jobs and learning more. I was pretty set on replacing our billing system. And we changed over to SharePoint just about a little over a year ago. That foundation is definitely still being built. The first 6 months or so was just letting people get the dust settle. At that point, we went through our first year end as well. So using a new financial system and building it out for a year end. Now we're at the point where we're getting to get those more innovative things on deck for people, the personal dashboards. That was something that we didn't have before, where people can see where they are more in live time with their hours, their clients. SharePoint is kind of one project that continues to grow. And then from there, I really use my whole entire team, everybody in the firm, when we shop technologies. Those decisions are not isolated at the management level by any means. It's another way, I guess, I try to engage my staff and encourage them to have opportunity and a voice in the firm. So continually shopping new products and trying to get to a way to just be more efficient. When new technology rolls out, we create a nice marketing piece to go with it, something that's more visually appealing, instructions that are easier to read, because our IT guys, they don't need to have that skill set, but they don't have that, how do I communicate, which is where, again, the marketer in me, I feel like touches everything. That's not how my relationship was with the IT department when I was in marketing. So just how you first roll it out in terms of adoption. Accountability, I can see, despite sometimes the attorneys not believing it, obviously I can see whether people are actually utilizing technology. Also, I think to some of the accountability, it's working with our IT department and managing the tickets that come in. That's not necessarily related to our day-to-day stuff with SharePoint, but it's more the day-to-day of our general IT operations. But I can see where there's issues, and monitoring those tickets and reviewing them on a somewhat regular basis, or making sure that IT comes to me when they're getting in a consistent complaints on things and that I can address them, helps with that. I think you will see more people come out of marketing and business development ranks or client service ranks taking top positions in firms. I am very much a face of the firm, and I think that you will see that change in various markets. I also think that strategic-minded executive directors are going to become more prevalent. And I think that there's going to be a little more intentional as these various roles become more evolved in the industry.
Michelle Friends, everybody. What a privilege.
You guys are too kind. Thank you for letting me share my story and share about my firm.
Well, thank you for joining us on the virtual lunch. And of course, thanks to SharePoint for being such a great supporter of this series on igniting innovation. It's really been a privilege. Thank you so much, Michelle. And thanks to everyone.